our current beehives are on a platform, and we thought originally, hey, we'll stack them up on a platform. People do it on pallets. I just have this extra, bottom of a shed that I cut in half. And instead of getting rid of that, we used it as a bee platform. Part of the issue is whenever I'm trying to get frames out, I can't really maneuver around the hives too well. I have to step up on the platform, but then stand behind it. And if I stood on the platform, like, the bees are way too low, and I have to crouch down to do inspections, and that's hard on me. So we want to move most of those hives off of the platform now. We're just done with it, and then we'll move the frames into our long laying and give that a try for a year, maybe more than a year.
So sometimes bees get in the way while we're trying to do our management practice, or I guess we get in the way of their, life.
Yeah.
But sad things happen, and sometimes a bee gets squished. And we try not to do that, obviously, but sometimes it does happen. And when it does happen, yeah, the bees will get squished, and that sends out an alarm pheromone. Well, that alarm pheromone alerts all of the other bees in the colony, hey, we're in danger, our sister just got killed, what's going on? And if enough of that pheromone gets released, you can actually smell it. It smells like bananas. It's a little crazy.
Oh, there's a bunch under there still.
Is there?
Yeah. You got most of them, for sure.
Well, it is what it is
Yeah.
at this point. This is what it looks like. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Look
Cool.
at how many I got.
Killed another one.
Did you?
Yeah.
So we'll start with this frame then.
Get that one attack.
One of the interesting things about beekeeping is that every year there's something new. Our first year, it was just kind of feeling it out. We didn't know really what the big deal was as far as like that year. Was it wasps that were invading and killing hive? Was it colony collapse? Was it, robbing? Every year there's some new freak out everybody's doing about this is happening more than everything else. And that first year we didn't know. The next couple of years I kept an eye on it. It went, yellow jackets are invading. It was a big yellow jacket season. A lot of them were able to survive the winter. They weren't impacted by weather too much. They found really good nesting spots. They came out and attacked the hives in full. The next year, yellow jackets weren't a big deal, but hornets were. Hornets were everywhere. And bald-faced hornets were eating our bees, taking them away. Same with the dragonflies that year. They would just grab them and fly away. So this year it looks like it's going to be small hive beetle. And we've actually dealt with that before. I think our third year was one of those cycles where small hive beetles were really doing well. And people just didn't know how to deal with them. And currently this year in 2021, hive beetles seem to be on the rise even more than it was a couple years ago. So we're going to have to double our efforts. Maybe instead of putting in 2 beetle blasters, we'll put in 4.
So for our long laying hive, when we put the frames in, we try to do it in a very specific order. So we put a couple of empty frames at the very beginning of, or closest to the entrance, the side closest to the entrance, because we do have only one entrance on that hive. And then we put, I think, 1 or 2 frames of resources, and then the rest is brood, and then honey, all the way furthest from the entrance. And that's really, we didn't want the brood right at the entrance because we don't want them to get too cold. The entrance is very small, but we don't really risk chilled brood. And then we also want the empty frames to get drawn out. We want the comb to be nice and straight. And if we put an empty frame, because we use no foundation, if we put the empty frame next to a frame that's already been drawn out nice and straight, it's definitely more likely to get drawn out straight as well.
Every time we do an inspection, we're going to try and clean off the Hoffman sidebars, make sure that propolis gets knocked off. Every single time we put the hive back together, we're going to squeeze those frames together real tight and try and keep the bees from creating that gap. We don't want the wax bumping out further and further, and then before we know it, we can't slide the frames in and out of the hive. So we're going to continue to clean that stuff off. We'll collect it, we'll make tinctures out of it, and, you know, just use every part of the hive that you can. Try not to just get rid of stuff.
Hey guys, I wanted to pop in real quick and give a quick shout out to Miss Ray, or Honey Spoon Bee Wrangler. Anyway, she got the answer right for our trivia, and I just want to say thanks for playing, and here's your shout out. I also want to say thank you to all our members. Without your support, we wouldn't have been able to donate two beehives actually to the local early college school. So thanks. And if you feel like supporting, go ahead and go to our YouTube channel and hit join. Thanks.
We did have some frames that were a little wider than the sidebars in the Pacific hive that we ended up transferring into the Long Hive. And that one, I hate cutting wax. I hate it. It makes me feel bad because they've done so much work. But we really want those frames to be universal in size as much as possible. So I did kind of squish those frames together, or even cut off some of the wax in order to get them to be the same size and make it easier for our management practice, and also for future harvesting of honey if we decide to do that.
Now, when we added extra frames to Long Hive, we put in some frames that had black foundation because we had bought that from a beekeeper that was going out of business. So he was able to sell all of his stuff in one shot, all his bees, all his equipment. And some of his equipment came with these foundation frames that has, you know, the black plastic in the middle. And what we tried to do is stagger those in our long lang so we could have, you know, a brand new frame in there that has the black foundation. And then we'd put an empty one, an empty frame in between that. Hopefully what the bees will do is pull the black foundation out while they're pulling out the empty frame, and then they'll keep that bee space. If not, we'll just check on it next week or the week after and straighten out that comb a little bit. There's always a chance when you have foundationless that the bees are going to make more wonky comb, and no matter how much you clean it up, until that comb is complete in the frame, it's anybody's guess if they're going to keep making wonky comb. For
our Varroa mite management techniques, this past year we used two different types. We used Formic Pro and also Hop Guard. It just depended on which hive we used. And the Formic Pro and the Hop Guard both tell you that you can leave the pad in after the treatment period has ended. So we haven't done that in the past. This year we did. And I think it put more stress on the bees than it really needed to. So definitely, if we use those same treatment methods again, we would definitely take them out after that active treatment period has ended.
Currently, we're doing inspections every other week. So on week A, we'll take down half the hives and we'll do inspections on those. On week B, we'll do the other half of the apiary. And that just staggers our inspections, so we're not trying to overheat ourselves out there and overwork ourselves one week. Staggering it like that allows us to check the comb, and it doesn't interfere with the bees way too much. Now, when it comes to the flow, we'll probably check them, you know, periodically just by peeking in a little bit more than we would actually pulling frames out. There's a difference between like an inspection and just like a check. You know, we'll check on the hives by peeking in, looking in the windows, looking from the top all the way down, or lifting the boxes and looking underneath. But we won't necessarily do inspections every week. So the gloves I use are these orange mechanic style plastic gloves. And I do that because they're a little bit thicker. They have bumps on them, so you can grab things a little bit easier. Also, if you want to use your phone will respond to that.
Right there.
And I like them a little bit better because if I do get stung, I will feel it, but then I can just pull on the plastic and that will take the stinger right out. I don't have to try and like grab my hive tool or a credit card or something and try and get the stinger out. I just pull on my glove, it takes it right out of my skin, and then I can flick it with my finger or anything really. And that just keeps me from getting pumped full of venom. I also like the gloves because plastic doesn't give off the imitation of like fleshy skin, and that's what bees are looking for. They're looking for any sort of flesh, warm skin feeling, and then they know it's a creature and they're going to sting it. The plastic kind of confuses them a little bit.
For my first experience working with the Long Hive, I really liked that I didn't have to like bend over or pick any boxes up or anything like that. We were just transferring frames straight from the Pacific over to the Long. They were both right next to each other, so that made it really easy. And the only, not problem, but kind of annoyance I had was with the lid of the hive. Because we have those hydraulic rods on either side to keep it open. It only goes so far. So you kind of have to like pick up the frame and kind of go like this and then in, because you can't take the whole top off like you can with the Langstroth.